welcome guys to episode number 7 of the Rize. Now we've just got back from the British Finals weekend, and this is going to be a little bit of a recap and a summary over the weekend over how it went, what the results were, and at the same time feedback from a coach's perspective. So it's going to be a different type of video in terms of the breakdown of the show weekend, how it went, and also kind of a little bit of an insight to my thoughts, as it was a real good weekend from like a learning standpoint as well, just because again it's the first time that we've done 3 back-to-back show weekends with Adriana, so the way that her body responded was a little bit different from how it usually does, and all of these things you have to be reactive and know what to do on the spot. So again, they're all kind of good things to include in this video to give you an insight to that things don't always run smooth, and it's about how you can adapt and change, and also any coaches watching, how to kind of present this to your athletes for a good result and also being honest with them at the same time. So let's start with Kelly on the Saturday. She competed in wellness, done exceptionally well. We reckon 6th or 7th place potentially. It was one of those ones where she was centre in the second call outs, but when them shows are that busy, you never know if they're properly judging the second call outs in terms of switches, as I think there was only 5 girls in the second call outs. But we're looking at kind of around 6th, 7th, maybe 8th in terms of results, which again, in the British, you've got the best of the best, so you can't compare, let's say, a result where you got 2nd or 3rd in a smaller show to a result where you got 6th or 7th in a bigger show, because the athletes are different, the calibre of athletes are different as well. So again, it's more so comparing how did she look at the finals compared to how did she look at her previous shows. 4.5 kilos, I think she was down from the first show, which is again a massive step forward in condition, especially when you're already that close anyway. So the look that she brought was sharp. We didn't load barely any carbs. We've learned over this time now that her body responds quite well to just like protein and fats, as it brings a kind of really nice, like crisp look to her physique. So I think we loaded literally 100 grams of carbs on Thursday and then went back to pro fat for Friday and Saturday for the show. A little bit of jamming pre-workout to get the veins going, but apart from that, really low on the carbs, and that brought out the best in her physique for that day. So super happy with how she looked, and I think from her standpoint, the British she enjoyed so much more than last year. I don't think she had the best experience last year, so to be able to just create a different type of show day and add more to it than just the result is ultimately what it's all about. So massively improved look. Plan for us now is to go into a short off season before potentially looking at the muscle contest in Ireland, which is an NPC show, so we'll do 1 qualifier and then go into that around the March, April time maybe, depending on how this goes. So little health phase for Kel, whilst we're reversing through food, and then a little bit of growing in between before we then prep again. And from a coach's standpoint, first time prepping Kelly, everything her end is perfect. She's an awesome athlete to work with in the sense of there's 0 deviations. She feedbacks to me what she needs. My biggest focus for her now is training execution. So we're going to really knuckle down on that, get a solid growth phase in, and then when we next decide to prep, see the improvements from last year. So guys, it's Saturday morning and we're just about to start the team check-ins for the day. Now, Kelly's on in wellness at 3 p.m. start. So this is day 1. We've got Adriana tomorrow doing training figure for day 2. So exciting weekend coming up, and it's going to be a good one for the girls to get up of the best in Britain and really kind of just see where they stand in terms of like competitiveness. Both the girls are bringing their best package yet, so it's going to be exciting to see where they stand today. Up on one of the biggest stages in the UK. So exciting day. First up for check-ins, Kelly. She's the leanest she's been so far. And while she's here, Kel, how much would you say we are down?
4.5 kg.
4.5 kg, that's a lot of weight. Yeah. So yeah, 4.5 down for the first show, so improvements made. Jack's coming round, who's thinking about doing a show next year, so we're just going to put him in some poses, see how he's looking this morning as he's 4 weeks into his reverse. I thought that was the dog. You want me to get it? Yes. Oh yeah, sorry, Jack. Who's going to come around, do some posing as he's thinking about competing next year. So good chance to just catch up as well, as I haven't seen him in person yet. Adriana's sitting at around 129 pounds, which we know her like bottom weight before we start carving is usually 127. Being that we properly peaked for a show last Sunday, we want to make sure that this weekend we're not kind of doing another full-on peak, so we're literally just going to kind of come down to around 127, 128, and yeah, see how that looks on stage. Paige is also doing a check-in, who's midway through a mini cut right now. She's got 6 weeks left, I think, off the top of my head. So doing an in-person check-in with her as well today. So full-on morning, let's get it. So moving on to let's say the morning of day one, had Jack round for posing, as you guys have seen with the video. Never posed before. He can hit a couple of shots quite well, but a couple of them we need to tweak. So that's just going to take some time. He's looking at potentially next year or the year after in the naturals, so that'll be a good one to go for. Also had Jen round on Saturday and Sunday doing hair and makeup, which is good to see. She done her check-in for me on Sunday, and it's the first time I've seen her in person, so it's always good to gauge where she's at or anyone from a physique standpoint, as well as kind of the online pictures as well. So super happy with how she's looking. Phoebe come round on Sunday morning, who's 7.5 weeks into her mock prep. And again, this has been a streamlined process for her so far. If we decided to prep, I reckon she's 6 to 7 weeks out with a push. We've done this with 10 minutes cardio and literally just food and 100% adherence to get her to this condition. So super happy with how she's looking, and I'll put some pictures up as well. So guys, we're officially around an hour and a half out from Kelly's last show of the season. How are you feeling for today?
Feeling good, very calm, relaxed, and just ready to get up there. So yeah.
I think that's what we were talking about, wasn't it? Like how chilled and relaxed you are this time. What do you think?
This has been the most relaxed I've been. I don't even know what it is. I think it's because I'm tending my physique. I'm happy with the package I'm bringing.
Yeah.
I will give everything I could give, and I'm bringing the best me I can as possible.
Yeah, love it. And how have you found the prep as a whole? Like, talk through your experience with prep now, because I think, like, you know, we said before, how so many people have like, they hate the idea of prep, whereas I feel like you've come in this prep with just a complete different mindset.
Yeah, it's been a complete different mindset for me, because obviously my usual prep where you just straight into cardio, bang, 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 you're depleted, you're tired, you're starving, you don't get a chance to breathe, you're constantly fatigued. Where this time I have done minimal cardio. Well, to me it's minimal, but probably somebody else might go, you're still doing cardio.
Yeah.
But to me it's minimal. I've just been doing steps, and it's been the most relaxed prep I've ever had. It's been, you know, literally probably one of the best preps I've had. It's only been this past week and a half where I've literally felt like death, but I'm ready.
You're taking a lot of body weight off, so
I don't know, I'm
that's
ready.
relevant.
I think I've dropped a lot of weight, probably 26 kg now. So I'd say I'm feeling that now. But it's been a great process.
Good. And what do you think your expectation is for today? Like, you're coming in just chilled with like...
Yeah, I'm chilled and relaxed. So obviously I don't care where I place, but it'd be nice if I could get it probably first call out, which would be nice to have.
And I think...
It'll make me feel great that I know I've done what I can. Doesn't matter, I don't care if I get first, second, or do you have got the first call out? That'd be me on a high. So it.
That's what we're aiming for. And again, I think when you compare the look last year to the look today, just crazy difference.
As long as I've brought the better physique, it's better than it was last year. You know, that's literally all I can do, and go up and I enjoy it.
And show to show, we've improved massively.
We've improved.
So much feedback. We're looking at muscle contest, aren't we?
Exactly. Next
Ireland
year. In April, yeah.
So nice controlled reverse. And
that's what we're going to go for.
We've done a big off season before this, but we've spent time just learning Kelly's body. So any reverse we do now is going to be not as dramatic as the previous one, just as we don't need to now, as the tissue's there. So it's just refining, maturing that tissue there, and just kind of building on the foundation that she's already got. On to Sunday, we had Adriana on in train figure. Now, we've done 2 weekends now of peaking and competing. So as a byproduct of that, you're never going to hit a look bang on 3 times in a row. And this is something that we knew coming into this, and it's a conversation that we had where we said, right, we've been 100% for these past 2 weekends now. The odds of us being 100% for this 3rd week are probably quite slim. So we went in with moderate expectations for this show. All she wanted out of it was first call-outs, as I think she got 8th or 9th last year, which from last season to this season's another topic. But all she wanted was first call-outs, and I knew based on not even peaking her with the condition and body weight that she was at, we'd have a great result regardless. Now, with Adriana, I know her base weight before we start carbon up is usually around 127. So we went into this show on Friday at around 129 pounds. So it was a couple of pounds heavier, which we needed to be. That 127 for her is like perfect condition wise, and that's not something you can maintain for a week. So we come up a little bit, reset, and as I say, we knew we was coming in at around 90 to 95%. And this was where on show day, so it was Sunday morning, we was kind of waiting for that drying out process to happen, and it just wasn't happening. There's so many factors involved to this. Again, one being the fact that we peaked twice in a row. Second being that she didn't tell me she had a migraine on the Sunday morning until Sunday evening. So migraine, that neuro stress would have led to water retention as well. So the reason that she wasn't drying out as well as she did the previous 2 weeks was down to them factors, and her body just being tired from 2 back-to-back weekends now. So we had a conversation where I said, okay, if you want to leave the show because you may not place as well as you could do, that's absolutely fine. And again, this was the first time I've ever had to have that conversation. It's a hard one to have because you want the athlete to go and enjoy it, but when she's had a season like she has, you've got to look at the pros and cons of, is this going to knock her confidence? Is it going to dishearten her to see herself not looking as good as she did last week, especially before Milan? So it's a kind of conversation we had to have, but she was happy that I was honest, and I think that's the only thing you can be as a coach, is honest in your decisions, in how your athlete looks. Yes, there's a time and a place to give reassurance, even if you know that athlete's not 100%, because they're going to compete anyway and you want them to go out there confident. But in this scenario, we had an option not to compete, and I gave her that kind of option on the table. We are round to, shows whether my math is 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 hours out. Best one to date. And now the process is really kind of kick-starting, which being on at 6 is actually aiding us because it's allowing a little bit longer for the drying out process. So slowly reviving the look from last week. We're getting close. We still went ahead. We still smashed it. Got third in Britain, so certainly not a bad result. But especially with an athlete like Adriana, she's completely trusted in my decisions, and she doesn't necessarily know how she looks all the time. So she's relying on my feedback all the time. And I didn't want to give her a false answer on the check-ins that we was doing throughout the morning. I said, we're around 90 to 95% now. We can go in. We may not beat the girl that we beat last week. And we didn't, which is, again, was expected. She looked awesome on the day. So it's one of those ones where I learned from a coaching perspective that it is best to be honest. So I'm glad that I made that decision. But second, also looking at the bigger picture and saying, right, we're at the British finals. We know we're not 100%, but we're still 90 to 95%. And we went in, got third. So super happy with the result, and not worried even if we did step to second, because Jill, who come first, was amazing. And second to third is different from second to first, in my opinion. So I'm happy to take third there. And again, comparing that to last year, from not even getting a look to a call out to then getting third in Britain's a fucking awesome result. So super happy with that. As a recap for the weekend as a whole, I think it's just so cool to see how much we've all grown as a team from last year to this year. I think we come there with obviously Paige and Adriana last year. Paige got second, and at that point there was the only 2 competitive athletes I had. So to see where everything's at now, literally just a year later, is fucking awesome. And I think it's also cool to see how well everyone's done. Everyone in this circle of precision's grown. Mango's business is skyrocketed. Everyone that I'm coaching is massively better than they was last year. I've got more athletes on stage. So our circle of precision for that weekend is awesome. So everyone's growing, everyone's improving. And that's the recap as a whole, guys. So guys, that's a wrap for the 2024 PCA British Finals. So do you want to give anyone that hasn't seen already a rundown on what's happened?
I just came third in the British finals, and it wasn't until Kelly pointed out that that's third in Britain.
Yeah.
Like, I'm oblivious.
And how does that feel?
Fucking amazing. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah?
Yeah, fucking amazing.
What's that done for your confidence?
Oh, boosted it 100%.
Because
Roll on Milan now.
talk about like how, so going into this, like I saw how nervous you was in the lead up to this.
Yeah.
And obviously that's just massively changed your whole perspective on the rest of the prep. And
Me from last year stepping on stage to today, oh my God, like I'm 100% a different person.
Crazy,
totally.
isn't it?
Physically, mentally.
apart from this morning.
And confidence. No, you gave me a wobble. That was you. You made me have a wobble. But yeah.
So what's next?
Milan.
Milan's
Smash
next
it.
on the
Fucking
card.
Pro card.
Well, yeah, I can't say too much of that, but
There's an F word fire.
You'll have to bleep it. I'm just on a high.
so we've had a sick weekend, guys. Kelly's done amazing yesterday as well. Package
Sick
that she's
package.
bought last year to this year's crazy difference, and
Yeah.
I think you goes to say that your whole enjoyment for the process is the highest it's
Yeah.
been, and that's ultimately what's most important, is that you bring in better every single time you step on
Yeah.
stage, and your love for the process is increasing at the same time. So I'm going to let the champ tuck into, what is it? Show the camera.
Gluten-free, dairy-free, donut time, chocolate donut, and the biscuit is gone because I've already eaten that.
So that's a wrap from us, guys. See you in Milan.
Eat with Adriana. So, Adriana, you have come third
Even
in our
drives
trained
home.
figure class at the British Finals. Tell me, how does that donut taste you told me you were going to eat after the final?
Fucking amazing.
Actually, I'd say it's better than sex.
Well, we're cutting that.
Where it goes back to
I'll leave it there. I'll take that mic off.
I think it's better than sex, too.